On NewsWatch 12 at 6, continuing coverage on the situation in Shady Cove as Jackson County Emergency Operations announces the repairs to the water system. Plus, Grants Pass Fire is welcoming a new fire engine today. NewsWatch 12 spoke with the fire chief about the capabilities of this new engine.
High school football is back. We'll gear you up for everything under the Friday night lights coming up.
Watching out for you. This is NewsWatch 12 at 6.
On our top story this evening, Highland Water customers in Shady Cove now have water once again after an outage lasted 4 days. Thanks for joining us for NewsWatch 12 at 6. I'm Haley Gravitt. NewsWatch 12's Leave column tells residents what they can expect moving forward.
Shady Cove now has water again after a 4-day-long outage that left about 300 residents without water. But there are still some resources available and precautions to know about. Highland Water customers in Shady Cove now have access to their taps again, with a replacement pump installed last night, restoring water access. This comes after the city declared a state of emergency due to the water cutoff. Shady Cove calling on the county and state for some assistance when it comes to getting citizens the water they need.
By Wednesday, they had let us know that they needed some assistance procuring drinking water, so we started activating our emergency management team to be able to do that, and yesterday morning we activated our EOC so we can provide more resources that they may need.
I asked the city of Shady Cove if the emergency declaration is lifted now that water is back on. I haven't gotten an answer yet. But water is still being given out at Fire District 4, with drinking water available from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and non-potable water from 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. A boil advisory is still in effect, meaning Shady Cove residents should boil their drinking water before consuming it. The latest updates on Shady Cove's water can be found on our website, kdrv.com. In Jackson County, Leave column, NewsWatch 12.
And looking to our fire watch tonight, crews working on the Copperfield fire are continuing to increase containment. It's now at 43% at an estimated size of 3,800 acres. 8 homes in total have been destroyed, and the cause is under investigation. The Oregon Department of Forestry says the estimated cost of the fire is more than $6 million. Evacuation warnings and orders are still in place. You can find your evacuation zone by heading to our website, kdrv.com. The Diamond Complex near Diamond Lake is now 81% contained. 30 of the 32 fires in the complex are fully contained tonight. Crews are prepared to respond to any new wildfires that may pop up from today's slight thunderstorm chances. And looking at the Middle Fork fire, it's now 61% contained as crews continue heavy equipment operations near Crater Lake's north entrance. They are also cleaning up roads and repairing areas disturbed by suppression activities, especially along Highway 230. And if you're getting on Interstate 5 and going up north, you may run into traffic as firefighters work to stop 2 new wildfires in the Canyonville area, one of which the Milepost 98 fire along southbound I-5. Albert James has the details on why officials say things getting cooler doesn't necessarily mean fire season is over.
Arrival to the scene, responders found a fully engulfed car that caused a natural cover fire to the surrounding vegetation in the area.
That fire, the Milepost 98 fire, has burned an estimated 120 acres along the interstate, forcing ODOT to put in some traffic controls and the sheriff's office to evacuate some homes. Thursday evening's heat made for an active blaze, but conditions cooled overnight into Friday, allowing crews to hold the fire and continue their attack.
It was hot, it was dry, and fire activity was growing rapidly. Thankfully, when that sun went down and temperatures started to cool, that fire activity really died down.
Fire officials say the I-5 corridor in the area is known for roadside fires, and while blazes from accidents are not common, fires sparked by worn-out brakes, dragging chains, and stopping in dry grass are common and completely preventable.
That catalytic converter, if it's not maintained, it can create BBs that then are released from the tailpipe of that vehicle, and they're hot debris that catches the vegetation on fire.
Even as we enter September and things get cooler, Pope wants people to understand fire risk doesn't just go down overnight.
Cooling weather and cooling temperatures doesn't necessarily mean that fire season is over. Moving from summer into the fall solstice does not mean that fire season is over.
Pope says fire danger still exists with vegetation dried by the summer heat, and consistent moisturizing rains are needed to move on.
And then you start to see greening up around you, not the dry, drowned grass. That's when you know that the signs that fire season are going to come to an end, and that's when all of our district will start to release that fire season is over. But until then, please follow those restrictions and regulations that are in place.
Let's turn over to meteorologist Sarah Kress. Certainly feeling fire weather here in our region.
Yeah, we're still very dry. It's still very hot, especially this last week. It's very dry condition. It's going to be lasting as we're heading into this weekend. Right now into Medford, we are seeing some improving air conditions. Earlier today, it was quite smoky outside, but right now it's not looking too bad. We do have a lot of clouds in our area, and it is beginning to cool down, about 97 degrees outside right now. But a quick look at our air quality, it's improved very much from earlier today. Right now, we're only seeing moderate values into the Rogue Valley, and everywhere else we're seeing some pretty nice air, and that's looking great because on the other end we're tracking thunderstorms. Right now we're seeing some action into the Klamath Basin up in North Klamath and Lake County. We do have some strikes of lightning popped up from a few cells there. Now moving down again, we do see a few other lightning strikes as well. As we're making our way through the evening, the threat for storms isn't over yet. We're tracking until about 10 p.m. We could see things die down, but we do have that red flag warning issued until 9 p.m. today over into the Klamath Basin and along the Cascades. Again, with these fires, we could see some very gusty outflows along with that lightning. These wildfires can spread very quickly, so just make sure you're being very fire weather aware. Now, tomorrow we will be seeing some pretty warm temperatures yet again. We'll talk more about what to expect coming up in our full forecast. Haley?
Sarah, thank you. And today, Grants Pass Fire Rescue is introducing the community's new fire engine. This morning, the crew there followed the tradition of pushing the new truck into the station. The tradition dates back to the time of horse-drawn equipment when firefighters had to push the fire pumpers into the station because horses couldn't back up the equipment. Grants Pass Fire will handle housing, staffing, responding, insuring, and maintaining this apparatus for 3 years. Today we spoke to the fire chief at Grants Pass Fire about the new engine.
We were one of the first ones to get the apparatus. We've had it for about 3 weeks. We've outfitted it, we've trained on it, and today we're putting it into service, which is a perfect day because it's going to be over 100 degrees today, and so we'll actually be using it today. So it's pretty exciting for us.
Putting the new engine to work. And Grants Pass Fire got the new Wildland engine from the Oregon State Fire Marshal. Acquiring the engine was made possible through the Fire Marshal Engine Program funded by Senate Bill 762. Happy Football Friday to all who celebrate. We've got a ton of games going on in Southern Oregon and Northern California. NewsWatch 12 Sports' Peyton Manny and Madison Marie gearing up for another week of Friday Night Blitz. We'll check in with Maddie in just a bit, but Peyton is at our first game of the week matchup. How exciting. Peyton, what can you tell us about this game?
Yeah, hey Haley, thank you. Well, it's going to be a gritty and intense matchup tonight because we have a rivalry game on deck for our first game of the week matchup. The Eagle Point Eagles in the home of the Crater Comets. There's nothing better, and it's going to be exciting under the lights here at Dutch Meyer Field. Now, this rival game is coming a little bit early. These two teams usually meet in October, but they're going to meet tonight. In the past 10 matchups between the Comets and the Eagles, Crater holds the 7-3 record, losing the past 2 years. Crater returned a lot of versatile athletes this season, including their starting quarterback Ben Higginson and star running back Valentin Rodriguez. Eagle Point, on the other hand, is looking for some leaders to emerge, with Bryce Livingston no longer behind center for the Eagles. Head coach Eric Johnson mentioned that he will need some younger guys to step up and fill in those roles that are missing this season. But Crater is coming in with a 1-0 record. The Eagles coming in with an 0-1 record, hoping to spoil the Crater Comets home opener. So we'll see how this one comes out and how it turns out tonight. We'll have these highlights for you coming up tonight on Friday Night Blitz at 11:15. But I'll be on the call at 7 p.m. So join me on 12.2 Antenna TV, KDRV Classics. Maddie is out at Spiegelberg Stadium for a 6A showdown. Maddie, take it away. Yeah, Peyton, well, your game of the week over there at Crater is going to be electric, but it's even going to be better here at Spiegelberg as the Black Tornado hosts the Cavemen of Grants Pass, and I'm joined live now by Black Tornado head coach Nathan Chin. Coach, week 1, we're here, football season is back, beautiful weather for some high school football. Let's talk about your expectations coming into week 1. You're 0-0 right now. Tell me a little bit about what you're expecting for your team.
You know, the big key for us when you go into the week, you know, that first week of the season, both of us are, you know, Grants Pass and us, we're both playing our first game, you know, and so being able to try to get and work out the kinks of the first game real quick and real early is going to be huge for us. So, yeah, I mean, our kids have done a great job of preparing the last 3 weeks and really over the course of the summer, so excited.
Yeah, especially in league play last year, you were pretty dominant. And then obviously in playoffs, it didn't turn out the way you liked, but a really good season for you overall. What are you looking to take from last season and implement into this year?
You know, the idea is that we have a standard that we have to uphold, right? And that's every single year that the idea is to be able to raise to that and then continue to uphold. And that's our group now. They understand the expectation of what we need to do. We started this conversation with these guys 8 months ago about what we needed to do to be able to, you know, take another step for the program, you know, and making the first round playoffs. It was good for us, you know, to make it the top 16. But now we want to be able to make some noise, you know, and let people know that people from down here, you know, and down Southern Oregon can come play ball.
They know how to play football. Yeah. We chatted a little in preseason about how you were really focusing on controlling both sides of the ball, whether you're on offense or defense. What does that kind of look for your team this season?
You know, we have a saying is the ball is a program, and the idea behind it is, number one, we take care of the football on offense, right? We don't turn the ball over, and then on defense is we create takeaways, you know, and if you can be on the positive side of that turnover ratio, the likelihood of winning goes up. And so our defense plays aggressively, and we try to get after the football, and we have a kid in the back end, you know, that led the state in interceptions with Tate, and so excited to see, you know, how he comes out this season. And then offensively, we just got to be able to move the ball functionally, you know, and having a quarterback come back, you know, on his second year is exciting. You know, he's going to be 1 year more mature, which is huge.
Yes, awesome. Well, good luck tonight, Coach. I know everyone at home is cheering you on as well, and the Cavemen rivalry game. So see how it goes. Good luck tonight, Coach.
Thank you.
We'll send it back to you in studio live here from Spiegelberg Stadium. Madison Marie, NewsWatch 12 Sports.
Thank you to our sports team. And on to the School Watch tonight. The Medford School District may soon have a cell phone ban policy throughout the district. This comes alongside a nationwide trend of cell phone ban policies. The district is seeking to streamline current policies that their schools already have and look for next steps after a draft are to get feedback from the community, students, and address parents. But with other similar bans in place, the district is attempting to cover up the concerns brought up, such as for students who medically require devices.
Medically wise, there are ways for students to still wear their watch that's medically collecting data and their phone can be put away while they're taking the class. And so there are ways to work around and make sure that everyone's safe and taken care of, and we're covering all those bases still.
The next Medford School Board meeting could see a draft of this policy for the district to decide on. The decision on a timeline for implementation would then happen next. And next week, Medford Police will be on speed enforcement around school zones throughout the city. MPD will be on patrol at the following school zones next Monday through Friday. Police want to remind you that school zone speed limits are 20 miles an hour between 7 a.m. and 5 p.m. when children are present and when lights are flashing on road signs. So make sure you stay alert on the roads. And tomorrow is the start of the Ride the Rim Days at Crater Lake National Park. Tomorrow and next Saturday will be the 10th annual event. East Rim Drive from North Junction to park headquarters will be closed to motorized vehicles at 7 p.m. tonight until 4 p.m. on Saturday. This is to allow for non-motorized recreation, including biking, hiking, and running. The event is free, but normal park entrance fees will still apply.